Hey, this is Ron with Empire Extreme, hanging out with the guys from Durrani Pool. How are you guys doing today?
Doing dandy.
I did pretty good. I got a little sleep last night, maybe 5 hours.
It's more than normal. Yeah.
It's more than normal.
Yeah.
It's definitely an up and down thing. But hey, we're on tour. That's what it's all about, man. Party every night, rock and roll. Party every night and part of every day.
Part of every
Rock
day.
and roll all night. Party.
Just part of every day. Not
Just
all
part,
of it.
not the whole time because we still got to get stuff done. But it's good.
So how's the tour so far going with the guys with
Dude.
Saliva?
It's been amazing. We've been friends with Saliva for years. We toured off and on forever. 2016 was the last time we had like a legit tour together. And the thing I love about the tour is like it's like a family. They're not only friends with the other musicians, but like the crew guys, the tour manager. Like we all know each other. We've been around, so it's like a big family tour. Ali's Way played with us several times this year, and Any Given Sin. It's like everybody knows everybody. Everybody's super cool. So I love these kind of tours, and you see that on stage, and you feel it in the music, man. It's great.
Awesome. You guys just had an album come out last year. How's the response from that
The
been?
response on that record has been freaking awesome. The business side is like it always is. It's been terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to talk any kind of smack. I'm just saying, that we've been putting out music for years, and Brian's back in the band now. And the thing that's been awesome about that is like Ryan and I have been hanging out. Just the new music is just flowing like crazy, man. I can't wait to get even more new music out. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of albums, so talk about that first album. You guys pull out the Center, and it just like
the first one, Center.
Well, not Center.
Like 150 years ago.
150 years ago. How was it like, putting out that album and just getting that recognition from going from that, doing the Ozfest?
Yeah, let's start there. I'm gonna work our way up. It's wild. Like every local, I'm so friends with. I just hang out on the local scene in Dallas, and I'm friends with a lot of bands that came up with us that are still pumping and grinding, and so many great bands and great songs. And we were very fortunate and lucky, early 2000, late end of 2000, sorry. Got signed by Wind Up, they came out. Locally, Bodies was already doing well, and Tearaway, our demo version was getting played on the Eagle back when radio stations used to do things like that. And yeah, man, it went from 0 to 100, it just blew up. Like 2 weeks later on tour with Ozfest, like you went from like the local band to everybody knows your song, let's take pictures.
Yeah.
And here we are, 20, 25 years later, still pumping and grinding with Ryan back in the band. It's been a great, dude, it's been like, I didn't know this year was going to be like this. I haven't been this excited for us in the band, and the fact that Bodies is still like hanging around and hanging on, man. It's it keeps seeing the light of day. Like this show wants to use it, this movie wants to use it, or it's a Coke commercial. I'm drinking some Coke like the the floor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Dr. Pepper, Drowning Pool, Dr. Pepper. We can do that. That would be great.
I
What do you think, Brian?
I remember the WWE using it.
Yeah, Wrestling
Stephanie
propelled
McMahon
it.
had it for a while.
Yeah, in the beginning, everything hit on all cylinders. We had a buzz clip for Bodies video on MTV when they used to play videos, which was awesome. And then, WWE
When radio used to play,
play songs from
Play
people
songs from people
instead
that
of the
weren't quite
same
signed
two
yet,
Guns
and
N'
then
Roses
when
songs.
videos-
And okay.
TV stations.
I think if I say this,
videos.
I know why now in my brain, why I say this all the time. If I say it enough, maybe the radio stations will listen. I listen to Metallica. I listen to AC/DC. I have all their records. They got like, 10, 11, 12 songs per record? And a
Yeah.
bunch of them?
Yeah, yeah.
Why do you play the same 2 songs my whole life? Like, sometimes I'm like, are you fucking with me? Did Guns N' Roses only write Sweet Child of Mine? And Welcome to the Jungle? Is that the only 2 songs they ever have? Like,
That's the coolest thing about living in England is
Like, what the fuck?
you hear like deep tracks all the time. Like you'll hear a deep track
Right.
from Iron Maiden, and then all of a sudden you'll hear.
Right. Look, you're not making
like
new
the original
fans.
Stone Cold Crazy.
We're here.
It's cool.
I'm listening to your rock station because I'm a rock fan. I already have the records. I already know the band. You ain't got to play the same 2 songs. I don't know why. Somebody explain it to me. I still play Metallica. Play anything but Enter Sandman.
Play Whiplash.
You know what? I dare you. How about this?
I dare you.
I dare you. How about this?
Double dog
Your mother
dare.
was a witch. She was burned alive.
Speaking of something that's old school, I love the DVD when you guys put out the cinema one. There's not too many
man.
bands that do that kind of like, visual thing anymore.
Not back
nowadays.
then, but they do it all now, right?
Yeah.
They don't do it?
Some bands, but a lot of bands don't do the packaged DVDs and.
Right. I like to still have that. Like we sell CDs and stuff, but it's tangible. Like we all signed it, and it's something personal to have. I don't know if you have a player or not for it, but it's cool to still have all that old school stuff. I really want to put cassette tapes out there again for fun. Just don't leave it on your dashboard or in your car when it's hot because it melts and it sounds slower.
Well, nobody's doing the DVDs anymore because everybody's so concentrated on doing TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Right.
And
gotta be a
streaming.
I guess
and
I guess we gotta
everything.
start TikToking or something.
Hey, I'm not doing none of those dances.
I said that, and then my daughter actually bust out the thing and it goes like this. And I'm glad because she's 7. She doesn't get it yet. So we started playing like
Tic-tac-toe.
tic-tac-toe.
Oh,
And
okay.
because, we're trying to hold,
I see your TikTok and I raise you tic-tac-toe.
tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's how that went. But no, it's a different world. The social media is all that stuff is great to see things. We just kind of grew up in a world. We should have more video stuff going on. You have no idea the insanity that ensues per day. You have this man still. I thought I would just be like drowning pool, not the drama fools anymore, but every single day there's some kind of fucking drama that happens. We should have cameras on.
Well,
Nobody would believe that shit. You see the fucking bus? Did you see our trailer? Oh my god.
we
The
grew
door
up,
opens up when we drive in the
We grew up with the Pantera videos,
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, those backstage
those
Pantera
amazing.
videos were awesome.
Yeah.
Them shooting fireworks at each other when they were sleeping and
I
shit.
should have filmed it when the bus caught on fire. I should have filmed it when the door got ripped off. I should have filmed these the last couple of days. I'm talking about the last couple of days of tour. But I didn't have a camera. It's like Tool. I forgot my pen. What's that song?
I don't know. You're the
God
tool,
damn,
man.
shoot the bird. It's the one about when the dude sees the aliens and he forgot his pen to write down all the information I gave him. And now nobody knows how to save the world. So now with Drowning Pool, when the door flies off the bus going down the highway, I didn't have the camera on.
So we won't know how to.
So now I have to reenact. Now tonight I'm gonna have to kick the door off the fucking bus again and
Oh,
film it and be
God.
like, oh, I should have did that last night when it actually really happened. But then I would be in trouble because it's like, well, this time you kicked it off. It didn't open by itself.
Right. Completely different circumstance.
It is. Am I talking crazy?
No,
Let me
man.
know when to calm down.
But going back to the TikTok and the viral though, you
Yes.
got speaking of bodies, Psycho Sticks. I can only count to 4. It got has been blowing
Yeah,
up
it's
a
blown
lot
up again,
lately.
man. I think that's what there's a lot of parodies of the song. That's a well-known one. JoJo the Parrot that actually lives
Yeah.
an hour from Dallas does a parody of it. There's a sock puppet. I met the dude that did the sock puppet video.
Didn't Shaq just do something?
Shaq did it too. So this
Oh,
one
nice.
guy did he did some music, some cool rap music, and then the Shaq sang on top of that. I think Ryan and I reacted to that because there's a thing where you watch people's videos and you react to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's great. It's like the Jelly of the Month Club. It's a gift that keeps giving, right? Like on vacation.
It's bodies, like the Jelly of the Month Club.
It's Jelly of the Month Club. It's a gift that
Enjoy bodies. It's like the
Enjoy
Jelly of
bodies.
the Month Club.
Every month, you never know who's gonna do a parody of it. I sit in my house and I literally have about 10 different versions of bodies. Just because on my own, I'll just have fun with my own song. You ever play the mandolin version I have?
No.
It's really good. It's very Led Zeppelin.
No.
It's awesome. And I have a reggae version. I have a Perfect Circle Tool 3/4 timing version. I don't know. Maybe we just put a record out of our own parody as our own song.
There you go.
go.
So how was it like for you when you first joined the band? I know you came back now, but that first
Yeah,
time
that
you
first
joined.
moment, man. How was
Back
that?
when it was cool because I'd come to terms with retiring from music at that point. I'd left the band I was in previously and was out for about 8 or 9 months when the guys got a hold of me, and I didn't have any desire to get back in it again until it was these guys, and they're really the only. There were some really cool opportunities that came about during that time that I spent away from music, but I just had no desire to get back in the game again. But it was these guys. It was CJ, Mike, and Stevie, and it just it was the only guys that would have brought me back. Not like I'm an award. I just mean just me personally, mentally. It's the only group of guys that I was okay with. That I was excited about music again and doing music with these guys. So it was cool. It was there was some apprehension involved in it because Dave was a friend, and I kind of felt like I was stepping on toes with that and stuff. But it was actually his mom that called me one day and sorted me out. she sorted me out on that, and
Yeah, Joanne's awesome.
and yeah, she told me it was the right thing to do. So it made it an easy choice because I love the guys, and then having the blessing of of Miss Williams made it all make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely, man.
I was gonna ask like how was that transitioning as far as from like the fan wise, because I know a lot of times people are kind of defensive of somebody else coming in.
I think
especially when it comes to vocals.
I was never shy about. I mean, my youngest son his middle name is David, named after Dave, and I was never shy about my love for him or the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
And I think that was not just realized, but it was embraced. I think people from the Drowning Pool family, the people that had been supporting the band through the years, the fans out there, they understood that connection and they embraced that connection, and it made it a really easy fit. It made it not just easy because I was with people that I enjoyed being around.
Yeah.
But also an easy fit because the fans, the people that allow us to do what we do, they were supportive of it. So it just made everything. It was like an easy Lego set. Everything fit together really nice.
Yeah, the fans they're nothing but awesome and great. It's been insane, especially now touring again, because with COVID and everything. I mean, that's slowed down for everybody, especially for Drowning Pool. We kind of been just waiting to get back on it. Just right place, right time. Especially this year with Ryan. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, it's awesome. Like to play in a band, with your brothers and your friends and everybody gets along, we're all on the same page with everything, and you get on stage and just do our art and express our music together and just lock in, dude. There's no feeling like that in the whole world, man. I mean, it's been freaking insane. Awesome.
Yeah. And I always ask these kind of questions, but I always like when I ask it, I'm very sensitive to the thing, but I always try to say like if you could tell me a funny story, nothing too personal, but talk about when you were with Dave, like a funny story that you would like to. I mean, I always try not to ask anything too personal.
Dude, there's always funny stories and people ask, and I'm always trying to when I get to ask.
It's when you're asked, all of a sudden your mind goes blank.
Yeah, well, it not only goes blank, but I have said stories. I'm always trying to not repeat the same stories.
Right.
And I just had one pop in my head, which is not a repeater. So this is before we signed, and we got to do this weekend run with Seven Dust. John Conley was, we're friends, and this before we blew up. It was like 1999, and I forgot what Dave was mad about something, and I fell asleep in the front seat, and he's talking to me, but he didn't know I was sleeping, so he's like getting all mad, and the other guys, he's like, I'm a Duncan Hines hate cake, ready to rise, motherfucker. You answer me when I'm talking to you. I'm like, what?
Hate cake, ready to rise.
A Duncan Hines hate cake, ready to rise. And I woke up like, what? And we all had a good laugh on that one because, I wasn't answering because I was sleeping.
Gotta honestly, dude, I've never heard you tell that. But
Right.
Mike said something to me about that line one time, and
He
when
said-
you asked that question, that's what actually entered my head. The hate cake ready to rise.
Did it?
It
Did you
did.
talk? Are we doing the thing?
It is.
That's crazy.
It's separated at birth.
You put that in my head, man.
And the crazy thing about it too now, especially with you guys been around for so long, a lot of these
Oh my
kids
God,
now
so long.
weren't even
20s.
around when Dave was around. So it's like now
I
these
got to tell you
people-
something special about this, man. And the day I really, really felt it. We played with Pantera in May, and it was the first show back in the States, and it made Drowning Pool and Pantera, and we rocked out. And dude, Zach is killing it, dude.
Yeah, I just got done
Charlie's-
watching that.
It's so
that
awesome.
show.
And the thing is, I'm out in the crowd because I'm watching it. We got to play our freaking show there, and I'm out there in the crowd with people around our same age. I'm not gonna lie, I'm 50 years old. I can't believe I'm even 50. So you have our fans at that age, and you have like the 13-year-old son, 14-year-old
Yep.
son that's never really even been to a metal show yet alone Pantera, which is like the definition of metal,
Yeah.
and Drowning Pool, which is metal and rock and roll, and like to see that new generation and just to hang out with them and experience that. I mean, I didn't know we'd get to this point. I have a concept of time, so I guess we are here now. Dude, it's great to see this whole new resurgence of
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that a lot when I was at Pantera because I was down. I got lucky to get guests and got down to the pit. Yeah, it was like so many young,
It's
like
a
it was so
young
many
fans, man. It's
generations of
great to see that,
fans.
man. And dude, they're just having a good time, man. I know it's rock and roll, it's metal, it's rebellious, and it scares people. And sometimes we make jokes like it's Drowning Pool, and we have a song called we have a dude. I can't tell you which ones. Like people just misinterpret stuff all the time. But we have a song called "We Are the Devil and
Yeah.
Life Is Hell." The whole thing behind "We Are the Devil and Life Is Hell" is like we make life worse for us. Like we, that's not like Drowning Pool worships the devil, okay? It's like the songs. It's
You're
like
rock
that. It's
and
just
roll.
art, man. Right? It's rock and roll. It's everybody. But you come out the show, look, I'm all smiles, we're rocking out, getting a pit aggression out, and everybody goes home happy. So maybe we should let the cat out the bag. Maybe it's brutal. Maybe we're back here sacrificing goats. Maybe we're not. But for real, it's a family show. We got balloons for the kids and everything.
Oh man, Johnny Pool's for the kids.
Yeah, it's for the kids.
No animals were harmed in the
No
recording
animals
of
were
this
harmed at the Drowning Pool
interview.
show in this thing. Except for the one show, but that's okay.
Quest-
Jokes. Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah. Question I always ask too is it's a tough one. You know, you're talking about like kids and stuff. Like it's like picking kids. But if you can pick one song from Drowning Pool's career and put it in a time capsule, and thousands of years later, civilization finds it, what song would you want them to hear?
Ooh, that's I've never heard that before. I wouldn't put Bodies in there because it's they know it already.
Yeah.
So it would have to be another one. I don't know, we've been playing Let the Sin Begin a lot lately, and that's really fun to play, and it still bounces around my head like Mike's on the bus, just like humming it. That's the thing too, like, we're playing our songs, we play them every day, but it's still, like I said, our art, and we love it. I know some bands get weird about songs that they don't want to hear. Like, I love playing Bodies. We love playing Bodies every night, man. I'll play it 5 freaking times. Man, that's really tough because been going over the back catalog, the stuff we did with Ryan on the Full Circle record,
Yep.
and on the Drowning Pool self-titled record, and I was up the other night, man. I was up late. I was probably driving a bus driver crazy because I was in the front seat with the acoustic, and I was just singing I went to close the curtain so I wasn't waking people up, and I'm just up there singing, I feel paralyzed, singing Paralyzed and shit, and that's a really cool one that's been getting me, and another one is, Reborn is another one that's cool, man. I've been playing that a lot lately. I don't know. It's tough. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah. No.
What's it going to put in a time capsule and open up like, this represents the Drowning Pool? I guess.
I don't think there's one song that represents Drowning Pool. Yeah, because I think there's so many feelings within the different songs. I mean, there's so many. I think that's why Sinner was such a classic first album, because there is that song has a flow, that album has a flow to it, but there's so many different feels, not just the vocally but just musically. There's so many different emotions expressed within that album, and I think that's something that the band has always kept from album to album. I think there isn't I don't think there's any Drowning Pool album that you stick it in, whether it was Moreno's or Jones or myself or Dave's. I don't think there was ever a Drowning Pool album that you stuck in and you felt like you just listened to the same song 11 times.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, though.
I think it's a great thing.
It's a great thing. Okay, I wasn't sure because
I think
there's a lot of bands that have a lot of songs that sound the same and they get the big radio hits, but they all sound
that
the
is
same. But
that is
I
very true.
I write what I feel. Like,
that's very true. There are those
I'm
albums.
not writing for the
I
radio,
won't
bro.
say
This
any
is
of
my
those.
art. I'm writing what the fuck I feel.
There's some great classic fucking rock bands that are the same way, that found that recipe and stuck with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
But all Zeppelin's really different.
But yeah, I mean,
and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, man, I like I grew up on Alice in Chains and stuff. I like putting an album on and taking a little journey.
Yeah, I'm still like that. You in the mood? Like, I'm gonna sit down for a minute, time to myself, and put this album on. I still have my record player and my records. And for a minute, I had my tube amps and my 1,000-watt PA in my living room. To my wife, was like, "I can't listen to records on 1,000 watts with the neighbors." So I scaled it down. But I still listen to it. I still put the album on, like, listen to it all the way. I'm still like that. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look at us. Ryan Combs back in the band.
And since it's getting to the fall time and it's usually getting towards Halloween, I always like to ask, like, what's your favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie? Oh man, that's a tough one too. There's so many good classics. You got any right out the gate you can say?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't watch horror movies.
Yeah. My wife's just so into it. She has such a huge collection, and she actually let some of it go recently because, like, we got kids and all. It's like, maybe we shouldn't have these covers of this bloody murder stuff with the kids playing around.
I know it's not considered, but by horror movie enthusiasts, the Saw movies aren't necessarily considered horror movies.
I still consider them
Yeah,
a horror genre.
I've mentioned this before.
They're
people
not
are like,
considered
"Nah."
horror movies?
No,
It's more comedy?
I've been reprimanded before
shit.
because I've answered a similar question
Yeah.
with one of the Saw movies, because I think it was, I don't know which Saw movie it was, but a band that I was in was on that soundtrack, and so I went to the movie theater to go see it. I want to see my song.
Yeah.
And
A band that you was in.
I was so tense, because that's what the whole Saw thing is, just people getting hurt.
Yeah.
And so like the whole movie, I was so tense that when the movie was over, I physically felt like I had been in a car accident. I was just so sore, and I felt my muscles were all tight throughout my back, and I was, at that point I was like, man, I am never watching a movie like this ever again. I just paid money to sit for an hour and a half and feel like I got the shit knocked out of me.
Right.
So I haven't watched horror movies since.
I like the Evil Dead stuff and the Evil Dead series because it's like funny.
Yeah, like comedy.
When I
horror.
was a kid, I was infatuated with like the Hellraisers. And
Yeah,
stuff.
Hellraiser stuff. I always liked the Hellraisers. Yeah, my lady's big into the horror. She's got some hardcore shit. I was like, can't have that in the house with the kids now, baby. I don't know. So yeah, Evil Dead stuff's cool. I mean, you got all the classics. There's a go-to that I watch on a regular. There is one I watch on the regular every motherfucking year. I just remembered. Sorry, I hit my head a while ago. The one with William Shatner in it, and he's all there. He's sitting there hosting a radio station, and it's Krampus. The fucking is that the
Krampus.
Is that the one where it comes in? It's like the dude goes in the mall and he thinks he just like murders everybody, but you don't know what's going on with the radio station. But it's well.
No, I don't think that's Krampus at all.
It's Krampus.
Krampus?
Is there Johnny Mumpus?
Is that Charlie Brown says Krampus? I don't know.
It is. She's gonna be so mad at me if she hears it. Can you just edit this out and say CJ said the right movie that we watch every Christmas?
Yeah, we grew up with some greats though, man. I mean, we grew up with like, the good Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Streets and
yeah.
I saw the movies and I liked them too.
As I say, but back when we don't know horror movies, that's all it was, man. It was just all deaths and boobs.
They did a really good job on making the stuff look more real instead of the CGI. Like I like to see like they actually got some kind of thing that looked like they were really cutting skin and blood.
Yeah.
And stuff. Rare. I still miss that kind of. It's probably more expensive nowadays to do that, but it seemed more realistic then than like the program fake stuff. Man.
Oh yeah.
My eyes don't like digital, man.
No.
No, I can tell the difference between analog and digital with my eyeballs. When I watch video games, it makes me fucking nauseous and I throw up. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But if it's an old school, like, some kind of, old school porno film, it's like, oh, that analog.
You say
Porno film. I slurred.
Yeah, you did.
The classics, the 70s. Anyway. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look at us rocking out again.
Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna ask this whether or not you guys choose to answer it. It's up to you. But the whole thing with the mess now in the news, I was there. Blue Ridge. Everybody knows about that kind of stuff.
That was a sad day for us.
Yeah,
we were there ready to play, man. We were
I was
ready.
just gonna ask you, what was your experience with coming to the event and then not being able to play it?
Anytime that happens, it sucks because you want to play, but at the same time, I don't know what the circumstances were.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody does unless you were involved in those discussions and all. But at the end of the day, if there was a risk, if people were at risk, if the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls that would be coming out to that show would be in risk in any way, then they made the right call by canceling. Because there's
that Thursday when we got hit, that was crazy.
There's not enough metal fans left in the world. We need to protect.
Yeah, we don't want the metal fans. So to Blue Ridge's defense, and it always sucks when you want to see your bands and you take the trip and you go across the country to get there. But that first day was pretty devastating, and the weather is the weather, and you can't really predict it. You got to be safe for people's health. It sucks for the bands. Trust me, we were there backstage. I was ready to play, and I know it sucks for everyone who traveled. But man, you gotta play it safe. The weather was crappy that weekend, and we don't want to see anybody get hurt ever. So people, unless we don't see anybody get hurt, but still, when we say let the bodies hit the floor, we mean it. You don't catch that body, you let them hit the floor.
No,
Yeah.
You just let them fly.
Just when they hit the floor,
Let 'em
just
fly.
pick them back
But
up.
when he hits the floor, it's okay. You just pick them back up. but to get back to real, we wanted to be safe. They did the right call, I guess.
Yeah, we're bummed out because
Bummed.
you want to play.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew there was a chance that it was,
Yeah, we knew.
you'd heard rumors that there was a chance it wasn't going to happen, but we still made the drive in hopes
Yeah.
of getting to go on
Yeah,
stage.
we still went
and
there
spending
knowing that
time
we
with
probably
our,
wasn't
with our
gonna play.
peoples. But at the same, so you're bummed, but at the same time, reality is reality, and nobody has a grasp on what Mother Nature is going to do.
Yeah.
And if the powers that be felt like the safest thing to do was to do what they did,
Yeah.
then more power to them, because I don't want anybody.
Dude, I've seen, like, we have shit flown over and stage fucking, so I've seen shit crash. Like,
Yeah.
And the last thing you want is somebody to get hurt. So I know it sucks, man, but you gotta play it safe. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it is at the course. No conspiracy theory, nothing. Like, everybody wants to play the show and everybody wants to be there. So for everybody, listening out here in Ron's world.
My world. Well, anything else you want to say, fans, before I let you guys go?
Come out to the show and hang out with us and get out the house. We've been working real hard. Sometimes you got to get away from the kids. It's all right. Get a babysitter, come out and hang out with us. I say that
Yeah,
because we're
just-
50. Have a good time, man.
And just a big thanks, man. I mean, we've been around for a day or two,
Yeah.
and
Just a couple.
we've been around a day or two because people have supported us and people have given us the time out of their lives to allow us to do what we do. So just a big thank you
Yeah.
to not only them, but to people like yourself that put us in contact with those people. So
Yeah.
just a big thanks to all of y'all for keeping guys like ourselves still fucking doing what we're doing all these days.
I got a new slogan that just popped in my head. Drown and pool. We're pretty cool. Some people like it.
Some people like it.
That works?
I'm loving it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry, that's McDonald's. I'm.
Don't want that copyright.
How about drown and pool? I'm a lick it. I'm a.
No.
No. Don't do no.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, you got some call. Hey, what's up? You listening to?